Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about the longer version of This Is Fate. After Preeta's property papers were stolen, Karan got suspicious of Prithvi and Karan decided to secretly follow Prithvi, and from there, Karan got to know that it was Prithvi that stole the property papers and Karan called the police to come and arrest Prithvi. So let's continue. The entire Luthra family are sitting at the dining table and Preeta and Shruti comes to sit at the table too. Kritika says that she understands everything, but even then, some people do not have any shame and they still eat dinner with those people whom they don't like. Karina says that such people are said to be shameless and ungrateful. Shruti started laughing, explaining that she has caused a lot of terror in this house to the extent that no one is able to stand in front of her to talk to her face. Sherlyn says to Kritika that some people do not have any brain, which is why they tend to ignore all the shame. Natasha says that Sherlyn would have heard that sometimes people tend to consider abuse as a compliment, and if someone is so dumb, then what can they do? Shruti apologized to Preeta because she vowed not to argue with certain people, but now they are forcing her to speak, so she would have to answer them. Shruti says that she would have to first talk with this Batacha, and Natasha corrects Shruti, saying that her name is not Batacha. Shruti says that Natasha doesn't even know the correct idiom because it is said that sarcasm cannot be understood by fools, just like Kritika, Sherlyn and Natasha, who did not understand what she said because they do not have any brains. Kritika asks if this was not enough, but Shruti is taking it way too far. Shruti asks Kritika to have the courage to listen to her reply, and first, why are they listening to Natasha in this house? Shruti says that she is already bearing Karina's talks because she is her elder, but who is Natasha to talk to her when she and her sister are already bearing Karina? Kritika scolds Shruti, but this angers Shruti, and Shruti wants Kritika not to scold her. Shruti explains that she is seeing how badly they are behaving with her sister, but they should know that Preeta is now the owner of the Luthra mansion, and even then, Preeta did not insult anyone. Shruti says that Mahesh gave the power to become the owner of the Luthra house to Preeta, and Mahesh did it with his own consent. Sherlyn says that they all know that Preeta forced Mahesh to make her the owner of the house because Mahesh would not have done that willingly. Shruti asks that why does Sherlyn have any problem because before Preeta returned to the Luthra house, they all used to eat after Prithvi has eaten and they were all working like Prithvi's workers, so they all should respect Preeta because Prithvi used to treat them badly, but Preeta is not like that. Preeta stands up asking that what is Shruti saying when she knows that she doesn't care for the Luthras anymore. Shruti says that she and her sister have decided a punishment for Natasha, so Natasha would have to work in the kitchen. Grandma asks that what is Shruti saying because they treat Preeta the same way Preeta treat them all, and it is because of Preeta's actions that they also stop liking Preeta. Shruti asks Grandma not to interfere, but Preeta stops Shruti and asks her not to be rude to Grandma. Kritika sees Prithvi going upstairs, so Kritika asks Prithvi to join them and have dinner, but Prithvi insists that he would come back within 5 minutes, but Karan stops Prithvi, asking if Prithvi is going to take out the papers that he stole from Preeta's room. Prithvi is shocked to hear what Karan is saying, and Prithvi asks that what is Karan saying. Karan calls the police inspector, and the inspector walks inside the house with his entire police team. Prithvi asks that what is going on. Samiru Komin says that he acted as if he can understand anything, but he cannot comprehend what has happened, that Karan has called the police who can find any clue about who stole the property papers. The inspector says that they are here on Karan's request, and they came with their special team, and the police and everyone else all leave to search Prithvi's room. Karan is standing with Prithvi, and Karan asks if Prithvi got scared, but Prithvi replies that he is never scared of anyone or anything. Karan explains that Prithvi will get scared now, so Prithvi must come with him. The police enters Prithvi's room and they begin to search the room. Karan murmurs to Shruti that like Shruti had said before, the Karan Luthra did his job by himself. Sherlyn noticed Prithvi's expression and she thinks that she is sure that it is Prithvi who stole the property papers, but she hopes that he would not get caught. Kritika tells Sherlyn that Preeta and Shruti are targeting Prithvi through Karan. Karan tells Kritika that no one is targeting Prithvi. Karan tells everyone that he heard it when Prithvi confessed his crime to Nagre, that he was the one that stole the property papers, and this shocks everyone. Prithvi asks the police to stop searching and they should leave from his room because he feels like Karan and Preeta are trying to trap him in a crime that he did not commit. Karan tells Prithvi that they are not trapping Prithvi in any crime, but instead they are exposing Prithvi today. Prithvi defends himself and he asks the Lutras to say something, but everyone remains silent. Prithvi tells everyone that he should not expect anything from them, and he did right by maltreating them in the past. Preeta asks Prithvi not to talk like that with her family. Prithvi tells the police inspector that he will not cooperate with him now because he is innocent. Karan tells Prithvi that he cannot stop the police from doing their work. Prithvi tells Karan that without a search warrant, then the police cannot search his room. Karan remembered how he asked the police inspector to bring the search warrant with him, and Karan takes the search warrant from the police inspector and he shows it to Prithvi. Shailene thinks that she prays that the police should not get Preeta's property papers from Prithvi's room, otherwise Prithvi will be sent to prison again. The police says that there is no property papers in Prithvi's room. Preeta requests the police to search the room once again because she also suspects Prithvi. Kritika asks Preeta to stop accusing Prithvi. Karan goes to the wardrobe to search again and Karan finds the property papers there, and this shocks everyone. Karan gives the property papers to Preeta and Preeta confirms that this is her property papers. Prithvi says that he doesn't know how the property papers came to his room, but the police immediately arrest Prithvi. Prithvi says that he is innocent and this is a trap, but the police refuse to listen and they take Prithvi away from there. Natasha thinks that if Prithvi can end up in jail, then anything can happen with her. Kritika asks Preeta if she is happy now, and with what Preeta did today, she really hates Preeta so much and she would never forgive her. Karan asks Kritika to stop it, and Kritika says that no one understands her, and she begins to cry and she goes inside her room. The police inspector takes Karan to the police station to complete the procedure. Preeta thinks that Karan supports her whenever she is in trouble, and Preeta goes to her room. Shruti tells Preeta that she is happy that Preeta has kicked Prithvi out of the Lutra house once again. Shruti says that Preeta would not have succeeded in her plan without Karan's support, and all thanks to Karan for helping Preeta. Preeta asks Amir to drop her at the police station because she wants to meet and talk to Prithvi. Meanwhile, Shailene cries in her room because Prithvi has been arrested. Natasha asks Shailene if she is fine, and Shailene tells Natasha that she doesn't have anyone else other than her now that Prithvi has been arrested. Shailene says that everything is Preeta's plan to send Prithvi to jail, and Shailene asks Natasha to stay by her side always. Natasha promised to always stay by Shailene's side, and Shailene tells Natasha that Preeta is really smart and she can do anything. Natasha thinks in her mind that she is nothing in front of Preeta, so she should be careful from now on. At the police station, the police put Prithvi behind the bars, and Prithvi tells them that they will regret this because it is a trap, but nobody listens to Prithvi. Okay guys, thank you so much guys for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, share it, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye guys.